everybody, my name is Jessie and today I'm doing a slightly different video again. I'm doing another video on an ASMR format on things that I did not know before having a baby that now I know, and this one is more related to myself and just more the experience of the parent. I did another video that I already posted, more so focused on baby, things that I did not know about babies, my daughter specifically. So if you want, you can watch that one too. Also, just a disclaimer, this video I'm going to talk a lot about, my body, women's bodies, things like breastfeeding, and just, a little bit more personal stuff. So if that for any reason does not sound like your jam, that is okay, but you might not want to listen to this video. Okay, and there will be some ASMR, which is why I'm soft spoken and making some sounds. Okay, so I'm going to start off with just a couple things about the labor and birth experience that I did not know or expect. There's probably a few more, but just two main ones that stand out to me. One is that I did not realize you could throw up so much during labor. I don't know how common this is, so if you're pregnant or going to have a child, don't worry, you very well might not be like me at all. But I was the lucky person who threw up probably 15 to 20 times during my labor. It was pretty bad. I mean, obviously throwing up is not fun, but what was really bad was that I just could not keep any liquids down. I could not keep any food down. So, and I had a really long labor. In total, it was 53 hours. So, 53 hours without any food and not a lot of water. I got some IV liquids, but it was rough. So, I had always heard that it's common to throw up during transition, when you're getting fully dilated and you're getting close to the pushing stage. I'd heard that is common, but I was thinking maybe just once or something, but I was throwing up going all the way back to early contractions, so that was not fun. That was just my experience. The other thing that I just had not heard, or maybe I had and I forgot it, was that when you get to the pushing phase, they tell you, and some women don't really want guidance around pushing, but if you do, they tell you to push like you are pooping, like you're making a bowel movement, and they literally mean it. They're literally push like you're going to the bathroom, which is kind of funny, and I just didn't expect that because the baby's not coming out of your rectum, it's coming out of your vagina. So is this video gonna get flagged? This video might get flagged. I'll try to use more coded language. So yeah, anyway, they tell you to push like it's coming out of your behind. So I didn't expect that, but anyway, I did that, and again, I just feel like I was not lucky in my birth experience, but I was pushing for 4 hours. So, oh my god, it was just, that was rough. And again, that very likely will not be your experience. But yeah, it was just, I felt like I would, yeah, my whole bottom area was so sore after that. Oh my gosh. The other thing about the hospital that I wrote down that I did not expect, but I thought was really cool, and this was at my hospital at least. I don't know if this is standard practice in a lot of hospitals in the US, but at the hospital I was at, their standard practice was to not give the baby a bath after they were born. They just kind of used a damp towel to kind of dab her off after she was born, but they did not give her a bath with soap and water, which I expected they would do. And I was prepared to ask them to not do that. It was actually in my birth plan. And so, yeah, that was cool. because basically just to kind of help their microbiome. They're, just born and they have to develop a microbiome and all the microorganisms on their skin, and so I didn't want to wash those all off right away. So I thought that was cool that at least at the hospital I was at, that was standard practice. And I was planning on doing a home birth. It was a home birth until we transferred to the hospital after 36 hours of just not getting anywhere. So I thought, of course, if it's at home, I'll just do what I want. But it was cool to see at the hospital that there were so many baby-friendly things, or, I don't know how to say it, but just stuff that was aligned with what I was looking for. Okay, and then next thing that I guess I'd heard about this, but I just hadn't experienced it yet, but mom brain, what they call like mom brain, or parent brain, I suppose. But yeah, it's a thing for me, literally, where like my brain is just not functioning the way that it used to. I can say that I'm happy, like, oh, I'm hot. I put this shawl on only to look different from the first video that I did, the other video that I did, but I'm gonna take this off, and now I look exactly the same as that other video. But anyway, yeah, mom brain is a thing for me. I'm very happy, so it's not like I'm depressed or grumpy, but my brain is I just feel loopier. I don't feel like I'm grasping things as well. I don't feel like I'm listening as well. I just getting words is hard for me. Like I'll be trying to think of the word for something and I'm like, what is that word? And I think it has a lot to do with not getting as much sleep, or my sleep being so interrupted by having to get up a few times each night to feed her or change her diaper. But maybe it's also just related to like being in a different hormone state. I don't know. Maybe it's a combo of those things and just like multitasking all the time now as a new parent. So mom brain is a real thing, or, dad brain, parent brain, to some degree probably too. But I can say, at least for myself, it's a real thing. Okay, and then some other things about postpartum, for me at least, that I've noticed is that this was kind of a bummer, but I knew that you would bleed for a while after giving birth. I was honestly thinking it'd be more like 2 to 3 weeks, but I currently am not bleeding, but I might have another round of bleeding. But I did bleed all the way up until like 6 weeks, and then on like the 7th week I stopped for like 5 days, but then I bled again somewhat significantly for this last week, and now finally, like the last couple of days, I've stopped bleeding again. I don't know if this is actually the end, but I'm like just a little past 8 weeks now, so I did not know that I would be bleeding this long after giving birth, and it's kind of a bummer because it's just like you're on like a crazy long period and you have to wear pads all the time, and it's just like not fun. So there's that. According to Google, it's considered in the realm of normal, I think, to bleed up to 12 weeks. So hopefully that won't be the case for me, but I think even 12 weeks is considered normal. Probably longer than that, I don't think is. So yeah, and then I had heard people talk about this, but I just wanted to throw it in there because, like, I don't know that I really expected it, but people talk about, like, women talk about, like, having more body odor after they give birth. Apparently the theory is that if you have more body odor, it's like your baby can kind of get used to your scent and know it's you and, like, bond with you more or something. But I do notice I have a little bit more body odor. The weather is getting hotter too, so maybe that's a confounding variable, but I feel like I have just a slightly different body odor than I ever have before. Of course I wear deodorant, but like if I forget to put it on, or usually I wouldn't put on deodorant at night, but I've been putting it on at night because if I don't, I wake up in the morning and I smell. So that's kind of a bummer, but just it is what it is, you know. Okay, this one is not really related to postpartum, but just wanted to throw it in there that I did not realize how many great finds there are for baby stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So, unless you live in the boonies and there's nobody near you, check out Facebook Marketplace because there are so many parents that are selling their baby stuff. Because think about it, once your baby outgrows it, you don't need it. So people are selling it. I'm probably going to do the same thing once we're done having kids. So you can find great things. Like we got two, they're called Mamaroos, Mamaroo. They're like little swings that kind of go up and down and swing your baby. We got two of those for like $40-50 each, and they're like almost $200 new. So yeah, we've gotten a lot of things on. You can also find free things on the groups, the Facebook groups sometimes. So yeah. Also, I just bought some baby clothes on ThreadUp. This is literally the first time that I thought, oh, I should probably buy some baby clothes because we got gifted quite a few baby clothes. But she's finally getting quite a bit bigger, so we are going to put her. Oh, I think she's waking up. So we're getting bigger clothes for her. So I bought some clothes on ThreadUp, and there's a lot of good used clothes on ThreadUp for pretty affordable. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. We'll see if my daughter stays asleep. This final section is going to be all about breastfeeding. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear about my experience with that, particularly things that I did not know or did not expect that I have learned with breastfeeding. So I've had a pretty good experience with breastfeeding overall. In the beginning, I had some anxiety of like, is she getting enough? You know, stuff that's probably pretty normal. But overall, we've had a really good experience. She hasn't had like too hard of a time latching. She gets a lot of milk, so yeah. But things I did not know. I knew colostrum, so colostrum is your first milk that comes in. I knew it was yellow. I did not know it was so yellow. So that kind of surprised me. It's like almost as yellow as baby poop, which if you do not know how yellow that is, just Google it. But yeah, it's like really yellow, and I did not know that your body starts producing it a little bit before birth. And I found this out because, I don't know, somehow I was like doing something with, I was like a few days before birth, I think I was like touching my nipple or something. Anyway, a little bit of yellow colostrum came out, like tiny bit, and I was like, oh my god. And I showed my husband and we were like, whoa. So yeah, so that was a surprise. Next, I'm kind of moving in chronological order here. So then after colostrum on day like 3 to 5, you have what's called your transitional milk come in. It's kind of a mix of colostrum and normal milk, as I understand it, kind of somewhere in between that. And when your milk comes in at that point, your breasts, you wake up one morning and they're absolutely huge and like engorged, and they hurt, and they're so tight. And I did not know about this. Well, I knew about it a couple days before because my midwife warned me, but I did not know before that. And to put it in her words, she said, you will wake up one morning and go, whose boobs are these? And that's like literally kind of what it was like, because my breasts already got a lot bigger during pregnancy, so there was that, but then they got even bigger when that happened. So it's just been weird. But anyway, yeah, you wake up with like really big breasts and it's alarming. So there's that. And then, so one thing that I very quickly learned, at least for me and what's worked for me, and this was kind of a bummer, I learned that I can't really share night feeding responsibilities with my husband. In my mind, before we had our first baby, I was thinking there will be times at least where I might want to sleep the whole night, and so I will let him bottle feed our daughter. I will, pump milk, collect milk, and on those nights he can feed her with a bottle and I can sleep. Makes sense, right? Makes sense, but it actually does not work out, not for me at least, because milk just keeps coming into your breasts, and if you are not regularly feeding your baby, they get very, very full and they hurt, and it's more likely that you can get mastitis. And also, if you do it too often, you might cause some issues with your milk supply, because it's basically signaling to your brain nobody needs this milk if it's not coming out, whether by baby drinking it or by pumping or something like that. And so it's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna have to pump, I might as well just be feeding her and let her pump. So I was thinking like, oh, we can share the responsibility, share the load, as Samwise Gamgee would say, but yeah, not really. So it's basically just been me feeding her at night and me having to get up multiple times at night while my husband sleeps. But that's okay. If you're formula feeding, of course, I'm sure you can totally split it half and half. In fact, why wouldn't you, share the load equally if you're formula feeding, but because we're not formula feeding, it's a little bit different. Okay, and then what's next? I did not know that I would need to wear breast pads during the day, because even if I'm nursing her regularly, there will be random times where my breasts will just start lactating. And this is called the letdown reflex. Maybe there's a more technical term for it. But basically, it seems like if enough time goes by, or I hear her fussing or other things that can maybe trigger oxytocin or other stuff, I will have that letdown reflex. And so, yeah, I don't want to soak through my shirt, which has happened a few times in the early days before I realized. So now I have breast pads that I just wear all the time at night as well, because you never know. There's usually a little bit that comes out at some point. So I like these ones. I found that these ones that kind of have this shape work the best for me. Even so, you can still like see them through shirts and stuff. But whatever. I'm just not in my most sexy era right now. But that's okay. I'm in my mom era. So there's that. Speaking of letdown, I did not know that I would be able to feel that, which that's kind of a cool thing, is like half the time I know when I'm about to start having a milk letdown because I can feel it. It kind of feels like a mixture of like pressure and a like tingly sensation. It's not painful, but it's not necessarily the most comfortable sensation. And then I usually know that I'm gonna have some milk coming out. So if I'm like naked, like let's say I'm like in the bathroom before getting in the shower, I'll like be like, oh, and I'll know to either like lean back so that it doesn't like start dripping on the floor, or just get in the shower or get over the sink or something like that. Okay, what else? So another topic on another thing about the letdown is, so when you nurse, it lets down from both breasts, but obviously it comes out more the one that the baby is nursing from, the side that the baby's nursing from. So, you maybe heard of, this is called a Haakaa, Haakaa. It looks really gross right now. I promise this is not breast milk stains, it's water stains, because we have well water, so there's like a lot of minerals. But you just put this on, you can put this on the side that the baby's not nursing on, you just put it like so, and it's like a light suction, and so the suction helps even pull a little bit more milk out, and so you can collect some milk on that side while the baby's nursing on the other side. I typically get anywhere from like just a tad to maybe like that much in the most per feeding. Like I've never gotten like a whole thing. But this is cool because I use it pretty much every time that I feed her when I'm at home, at least. And what's so cool about it is I don't think I'm gonna ever have to pump. I have a manual pump, and I also have a electric pump that I got free through my health insurance, but I don't think I'm ever gonna have to use either of those. Maybe at most the manual hand pump, but this has collected so much milk. Our freezer is full of milk, and she's only 8 weeks old, and the only time I'm gonna have to have my husband bottle feed her is when I start working 1 full day a week. I'm going to work several hours, quite a few days a week starting soon, but there's only going to be 1 day a week that I work like an actual full 8-hour day. So then I will have my husband bottle feed during that time, and I'm pretty sure what I collect from the wet down will be enough. But they also have other catchers that I use sometimes on the market. This one's called the LV. It's called the LV Catch. Sorry, it looks gross again because of the water stains, but it's really nice and discreet. You just put it in your bra. So I wear this if I'm out and about, like if I have to breastfeed her in the car or with a friend or something like that. So it doesn't suction, and when I have this when I'm out and about, I just toss the breast milk because I'm not collecting it when I'm out and about, but I really like this one. Okay, what else? Oh, my daughter's waking up, so I'll wrap this up real fast, but well, last thing I'll say, this is something I didn't expect, but I have one breast that makes a lot more milk than the other, from what I can tell. So that's a surprise, but I think that's actually pretty common. I read online that that's pretty common. So I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Let me know in the comments if there's any things that were a surprise to you, or anything you learned in this video, or anything that wasn't your experience in motherhood. Okay, I am sending you all love, beauty, harmony, and peace, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.